if you knew that the stories you tell yourself, if you knew that the stories you connect to from your past are connected to your self-image, and if you knew that you cannot outperform your self-image, would you tell yourself a different story? Would you tell yourself a different story? This is what today's video is about. Hi, my name is Sige Nagels. I'm a transformational mentor, and I'm so happy to be talking to you because my aim for you is that you can live your best self. So that's what we're diving into today. So you can live your personal freedom and become the true version of yourself, not the conditioned one. So let me know in the comments. Are you a person who considers yourself having high self-esteem? Let me know in the comments. Type 1 in the comments, okay? Okay. Are you a person who is considering yourself to have a mediocre self-esteem? Like, yeah, I have a good idea about myself. Then type 2 in the comments. Or are you a person who actually knows that my self-esteem is rather low? You think that people are making fun of you, you think that only bad things happen to you, then type 3 in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today we're diving into the stories we tell ourselves. Now, why is that important? Well, if you're a person who has a high self-esteem, then what happens when people compliment you? Then you accept it. You say, thank you. No further thing happening. When you're a person with a mediocre self-esteem and they compliment you, and you would say like, oh well, actually, if they compliment your t-shirt, right, and they say, well, actually, or your dress or whatever you're wearing, well, I bought it here, it was not that expensive, oh it's just a thing that I have, blah blah blah. You're just still like putting it away, the compliment that you receive. And when you have a low self-esteem and people are complimenting you on your t-shirt, you must say like, hey, what is this person wanting of me, right? Why, or are they making fun of me? Is there something with my t-shirt, right? So that's the 3 categories, because what have happened to us in our lives is not particularly what has happened, truthfully. Now, before I receive a lot of comments saying, see ya, the thing that happened in my past did happen, okay? So it's not about the thing that happened, it's about the stories we tell ourselves about the thing that has happened to us, okay? So perhaps you have heard that before, that life is not about the thing that happened to us, it's about what we do with it. And this is very important, because when I got to study self-development, the self-image, how to develop yourself, how to get a better connection with yourself, it comes down to your level of awareness and to how do you see yourself. Because how you see yourself has a drastic impact on how you're able to move forward in your life. It has an impact on the opportunities that you see for yourself, the people you talk to, the action you take, the interpretation of your results. the direction you go, the help that you accept from people, the sabotaging that you do when it comes to supporting yourself. So, have you ever heard before about self image? I think you did, right? You have. So the self image is literally the picture of us, how we see ourselves. Now, for most people, and I know you're not most people, yet for most people, it's connected to what happened in the past. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter what happened to you in the past. And I really want you to, make a mental image of those words, or you just write it down and put it somewhere so you can detach from it. It's not what happened in your past that defines you. What defines you is how you move forward from it. So when you grew up in a culture who has specific focus or interpretation, a filter, right? You look at the world, through a specific filter. And when people grow up, they're not aware. Only when I got to experience that the biggest time ever is when I moved to another country. I got to see that people were behaving, even it wasn't that far away, it was in the same continent, yet people would have a different filter to watch and give an interpretation to things. So for ourselves, it's the same. You may be in an environment that confirms all of that what happens to you all of the time. So in that situation, you're not even becoming aware that you are living the same stories as the environment that you grew up in. And then you might use it even further as a confirmation. I guess that's how life is. Well, let me know in the comments who loves traveling and who has been traveling and who could literally see that there were big differences. So, how you see yourself for most people is based on their past. Now, I want you to write down for yourself, and this is a big one, that the self image is how you see yourself, and you cannot outperform your self image. Please write it down. Or if someone can type it in the chat, that would be amazing. So you cannot outperform your self image. Now think about it. What does that mean? It means that you cannot become greater than how you see yourself. You cannot create your reality bigger than the interpretation you have about yourself. Now, let that sink in for a moment. Because if you have big dreams, then you have to understand that your self-esteem should be at the level of a person that allows himself to live that life. And if you're saying one day, well, I think you still have to work on that self-image. Because a person with a self-esteem, a high self-esteem, they know they might not perhaps be where they are right now, yet they know that they are achieving it. And their actions are based upon that. Because if you have a low self-esteem, then what are the actions? It's about action and reaction. So if you when you experience things in your life and you tell yourself a rather negative story, can you be honest enough to tell that you are not taking specific actions that you would if the conditions around it would have been different. Can you be honest enough? Because based on the filter, how you see things coming to you give yourself an interpretation. You decide unconsciously which interpretation it is. And based on that interpretation, you tell yourself, okay, now what is the action that I'm going to take? Or there's not even action taken because you don't see the opportunity. So this is what self-development is about. You allow yourself to see opportunities. And I literally want you to have that sink in. Because this is huge. Once you understand this is huge. You can literally see, depending on your self-awareness, how you sabotage yourself. And mostly we can see it with our friends or our family, and we have more difficulties to watch ourselves from this open view because it's connected to our emotions. And most people, when they're connected to to their emotions, they let themselves be misled. So if you see yourself, if you see yourself, if you're able to grasp this one shot of you honestly, and if you could write down for yourself how you see yourself, you would see, would you create with a lens of observation, as if you were reading those notes as if it were about somebody else. Perhaps you're able to see what is your biggest point that you could focus upon as for today. Because it's action reaction. So there's something happening, there's an interpretation that you give, and then depending on that interpretation, you move forward. Now, if you could upgrade that interpretation, you could also upgrade your action, don't you think? So this is what I truly love about self-development, is how do you allow yourself to receive? When people tell you things, do you reject them? Do you consider? Do you defend yourself? Do you internalize in a way that is allowing you to grow, or is it keeping you small? So this is a question what I desire to give you. What is the interpretation that you give the things happening to you? And the second part of the question, what are the actions that I or that you are disallowing yourself to do? What are the opportunities that you are not allowing to see by telling yourself a specific story? And this may perhaps be the biggest shift for you. And if you want some help with it, write it down. And if you did, and if you have more questions about it, then reach out to me. Because this is where your growth is. This is how you can literally create new things happening to you. And I love that because there's so much that we have been telling ourselves in a specific way. And if you would literally start focusing on that, you could improve yourself drastically over a very short amount of time. If only you were able to be honest, like brutal honest to yourself, and taking radical responsibility. So I'm very happy to be telling this to you. For those of you who have a true aha moment, then let me know in the comments. Type aha, comment below aha, and let's move further on this thread because this is where your biggest growth will happen. All right, my name is Sige Nagels. I'm a transformational mentor and I love self development and I love to see people win. You could also call me a life coach, and I'm here to support you so you're able to win. And my aim for you is that you connect more with your higher self and become your true self, not the self that people around you or your environment wishes for you to be, but the self that you feel in your heart for yourself is to be true, and the one that you see in the back of your mind that, wow, that would be amazing if I were to live that. That's where we aim for, and that's how we move forward and achieve it as well. So talk to you very soon. Like this video, share with friends and family, support my channel by subscribing to it and interact with it, because if you do, more people get to see this content and I get to help more women who can improve their lives and that of their environment. Talk to you very soon. Mwah. Bye bye.